Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Origins of Doggos, where we continue our journey down the list of dogs A through Z, and we talk about them from a historical perspective. I am joined, as always, by my Borzoi co-host Esper, who I hope will stay through the entire thing, but you never know with her. I hope so. So today we're going to be talking about the American Staffordshire Terrier, also known as the Amstaff. It's the bull and terrier dog. It's sometimes called a pit dog, and a lot of times it is mistaken for a pit bull. These are not pit bulls. And as we go through this, we'll talk about, there is a lot of crossing between the Amstaff and pit bulls and what they were used to make these dogs as far as a crossover, but not the same thing. So what are they? A very strong, muscly dog, and they were bred for their courage and strength and tenacity. They're on the larger size. We go from about 17 to 19 inches or 46 to 48 centimeters. They get pretty big too, anywhere from 50 to 80 pounds. According to the AKC, an Amstaff has to have a black nose or it will be disqualified for competition. It also is not acceptable to have over 80% white in their coat. So because sort of particulars, the color, they can be whatever color. Actually, some of them are beautiful blue colors, which are my favorite, the light blues and the blues. They have a life expectancy of 12 years, and this breed is known to have some skin issues. They're just prone to skin allergies and very sensitive in that. So where did this dog start? It's a fairly new breed as far as what we've been talking about. It's not like the basal breeds that go back thousands of years. This dog really wasn't created until the 1800s. And what they did is they crossed the white English Terrier with the black and tan Terrier, as well as the original Bulldogs. Now, we have a very interesting misconception of what Bulldogs are like, because the French Bulldogs and the current modern-day English Bulldogs have been bred into oblivion, into these short-nosed, snorfing, unable-to-move monsters. However, the original iteration of the Bulldog was bred exactly what its name says. They were to fight bulls. So yeah, the current bulldog today could not fight anything. It can't even fight, it can't even eat its food. His nose all messed up. So they wanted to take the agility of these terriers and mix it with the tenacity of the bulldog, and what they got was the Staffordshire Terrier. Now, in 1870, from 1800 to 1870, the dogs started to come over to America. They started to be known as pit dogs. This is the start of where we get this misconception that these are pit bulls. Later, they became known as the American Bull Terrier. Then, still later, the Yankee Terrier. This is where we get to a really interesting story. So let's zip forward ahead, go to 1916. Again, a lot of our stories come from the World War, but this is a really interesting one. We had an Amstaff cross. His name was Stubby, and he was a very decorated dog of war, so far that he was actually promoted at one point to sergeant. So he served in World War I. He was a mascot of the 102nd Infantry Regiment of the United States. He was assigned to the 26th Yankee Division, and he was in combat throughout the war. There's stories of him saving his team from mustard gas attacks. There's stories from him actually holding a German soldier by his pants until the American soldier showed up. And it was also known that he was a great comfort to the wounded soldiers on the battlefield. So Stubby, although he died in March 1926, so he was 10 years old, was actually marked in newspapers and has a exhibit in the Smithsonian about him, and also, like a lot of these famous dogs, has had a film made after him. It was called Sergeant Stubby, an American Hero. So the Amstaff became part of the American culture, and not just with Stubby, but with the dog itself. And in the 1930s, this dog hit the height of popularity in the United States, partly because Pete the Pup, who was an American and Staffordshire Terrier, was on the Little Rascals show. So 1930s, it actually was not until 1936 that this breed was recognized by the AKC. Part of the reason being that they hadn't yet, delineated itself from enough as a crossbreed between these terriers and the bulldog. So in 1936, this was recognized as its own breed. Again, we see, like a lot of these dogs, and this is something I'm discovering as I'm doing this show, that a lot of dogs had a major decline around World War II. The American Staffordshire Terrier was not immune to that. And I would like to do some more research. I can probably speculate it's a lot to do with, having a dog might have been, if anything, a burden on a family who's going through financial times or has somebody off in war. I don't know. I have to do some more research, but it's really interesting to see how many populations in America are affected by World War II. So the dog starts to decline after World War II. In 1972, they officially became the American Staffordshire Terrier. Part of the reason was that America had started breeding them larger than the English Staffordshire Terrier, and they wanted to delineate between the two for show stuff. So this is 1972. We have to make sure, again, you don't want to can be confused with the American Pit Bull Terrier, because the American Pit Bull Terrier is not yet recognized by the AKC. I think it's, I'll get there if we get there on this list. It's not recognized by the AKC, but I might do a Pit Bull video just because they're such cool dogs. So that's it. The American Staffordshire Terrier. It looks a lot like a pit bull, but it's not a pit bull. Very, very good guard dog. Really, really cool pup. If you ever met one of these dogs, just such abundant energy and just little balls of meat. Like just so crazy, can't keep them still. So join us next time. We're going to be doing an interesting one. It's the Anatolian Shepherd. I currently know nothing about it, but I will research and I will see you guys next week. Bye.